We're rolling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Politics for Happy People, where we have fun conversations about serious issues. So glad that you are with us, Ashley. Good to see you.
It's
once
good
again.
to see you, Joseph.
We've got a good lineup today. Get everybody ready for what we're going to talk about. First, we'll ask, is it bad to be a trillionaire? And everybody probably knows why they're asking. I have recently become a trillionaire, and I'm feeling criticized for it. That's actually not why. But we are going to talk about that. Also, a high school girl in Charlotte has recently won a lawsuit against her school over a Charlie Kirk themed rock she painted. We'll give you the details of that. Also, a profanity-filled tirade from some North Carolina Democrats in opposition to the Republicans. Interesting video. We'll talk about that. And also, we are about to have the 4th of July, and some new polling from CNN shows, for the most part, Democrats don't want to fly the flag, and Republicans do. Why is it? So, Ashley, back to the top of our agenda items for today. How angry are you that Elon Musk is now a trillionaire?
I'm not angry, but a lot of people are. It was all over my Twitter feed a couple days ago, you know, how unjust and evil it is, you know, that he has so much money when other people have so little.
Is it fair criticism, do you think?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's a fair criticism. I do see why people feel that that is unjust, that when many are struggling to make ends meet, others have so very much.
Are those connected, though?
Well,
Do you
maybe.
How
But
so?
I will say this. When you have extreme wealth, you do have responsibility, I believe. It's wrong if you have this wealth and you're not a good steward of it. And I mean, that does happen, but that doesn't mean that it's just to take that wealth.
Agreed, but I even think more than that. I think Elon Musk has done more to help other people financially than nearly anyone on Earth. And so what I am...
And how is that? Like by providing jobs? Like, I mean, I just don't...
Yes.
I don't know a lot about what he does philanthropically.
He's philanthropic, but that's not... I mean, it was Jeff Bezos who recently, I heard in another article, because talking about this problem, I think it was specifically in response to the new millionaires tax that has been passed in Washington State, where they have a 10% income tax on all income above $1 million. And Jeff Bezos made the point that I've been very philanthropic, but really my greatest contributions to humanity are through what I've done in the business world. That's made a much bigger impact on the world.
For the economy and
For the
providing
economy
jobs and all of that, yeah.
Yes, all of the economic growth and all of the economic activity and all of the wages, and they have spin-off. You know, when you build a company like Amazon, the number of people it employs and the industries that have popped up around the Amazon ecosystem, and the number of, you know, mom and pops that have, you know, supplemented their income or ended up making a really good income by selling stuff on Amazon, right? The things that he's created has helped so many people all over the world economically that he said that impact is much greater than his philanthropy, because philanthropy gets lots of credit. But to the point about Elon here, and in a capitalist system that we live in, and I'm grateful that we do, despite its many imperfections, it is basically impossible to become very wealthy without helping a lot of other people along the way. And that is just the reality of Elon's path. And there's many things about Elon Musk that, I mean, he doesn't share my worldview as far as I know. There's things he's done I agree with, and like every other person on Earth, he's done some things that I would do differently. But it's just besides the point to this question of, is it, I see no connection, I'll say it differently. No one on Earth is in a worse position financially because Elon Musk became a trillionaire. He did not take it from them. He did not gather resources at the expense of other people for himself. He created wealth that previously did not exist. And so I think the criticism that we are hearing about, because he has that necessarily means other people have less, is just false on its face. That's how I see it.
Well, I'm not an expert on economic theory, but I am thankful we live in a capitalistic society. I do think that's the best way to do things, and there will always be people that have more and always people that have less. But yeah, I'm thankful there are incentives for creating things, as he has. So yeah,
Elon is a super smart guy. If you want to get a piece of this, and here's something that we all can do. Did you guys discuss buying SpaceX stock during the IPO?
Like my husband and I?
Yes.
No, specifically.
It hasn't come up.
Well, that's kind of his realm. I'll let him do his thing.
You don't talk stock purchases with Justin?
I really don't.
You don't?
I really don't.
Well,
I let him have fun with that. Go crazy.
Well, now you have something to talk about because, do you want SpaceX? Because SpaceX is, right now it's mostly theoretical, but there's all this value in the belief that he can really economize space in a way that nobody else has, and that might be true. So,
you ready to go there?
I would love to go to space.
Oh,
I do not want to live on Mars. I would love to go to space, though. No, I think that would be really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm staying here.
The probability is I will not go to space, but if the opportunity presents itself, absolutely. No, I think. I've read about astronauts and their experience in kind of orbiting the Earth and just seeing Earth from space. I think gives you
sounds cool.
An awareness of the creation and our place in the universe, and then kind of the one who made it all that has been described by many people as life-changing.
Yeah.
And I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. So.
Well, I took an astronomy class. That was good enough for me. But let's go from space to Charlotte.
Space to Charlotte. What happened in Charlotte?
So after Charlie Kirk's assassination, a Charlotte high school student painted a rock, and it was a tribute to Charlie Kirk. She painted a heart, an American flag, and it said, "Freedom 1776, long live Kirk, John 11:25." And within hours, the school painted over it. And this is when I think the story gets crazy. The principal emailed the entire school and called it vandalism and claimed that the student broke the code of conduct and announced that they'd called law enforcement to open a criminal investigation into this situation.
Ashley, did you skip over the fact that she explicitly got permission to do this?
Well, I was about to say that.
Okay.
And
because that's an important
evidently,
fact in this story.
Prior to that, she actually had gotten permission and gone through the proper channels for whatever the approval process is.
A permit to paint
for
the rock.
Painting the rock. Yes. So yeah, this is a crazy story. And so the investigation evidently included pulling her out of class, having her write a confession, looking at her phone logs. And so her family sued Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools and won. The school system was forced to pay her $95,000. So, this was a bad experience, but now she can go to college debt-free.
Well, she can pay for 1 year if she goes to like Baylor or something.
Yeah, that's true.
$95,000. That's real money in most people's world. Not Elon's world. He doesn't care. But for most of us, $95,000 is real money. What do you think happened here? Is this just a school principal freaked out because we all hate Charlie Kirk, or we're supposed to, so we're not going to honor him?
Sounds like
the facts here are outrageous.
I can't get in the mindset of these people. I really can't. I really try to do that, Joseph. I really do try to
Mhm.
understand, okay, where are you coming from and where can we meet in the middle and how can I understand you
Mhm.
better? But I don't understand at all why this school took the actions that it did.
I mean, to review this really quickly, the things that make this remarkable to me is, in the days after the assassination, right? People were affected in very different ways. I mean, that was a flashpoint moment culturally, and a lot of people who respected and admired Charlie Kirk for that. It was a real kind of political assassination, and there was real mourning. And many of us remember the funeral that happened. It was like an all day event. It was like 6 hours of a national funeral for him. And so I think she was 16 years old. And she had her own way of expressing this. And I don't know anything about this young lady, but got permission in advance. And apparently, painting the rock is a thing that happens in this school. And there is a process by which you get permission to paint the thing you want to paint on it. And I'm sure there are rules around like what you can say, because you can't just like give high school kids complete discretion to just do whatever you want to the rock, right? So I'm sure there were some there were some rules, but she painted an American flag. It said, quote, "Freedom 1776," and then it said, "Live like Kirk, John 11:25." So a Bible reference, and that triggered them. What was most triggering, John 11:25 or "Live like Kirk"? Would you
Both.
guess?
I probably the Charlie Kirk piece. A lot of times people say, "Oh, we can't talk about that. It's too political," you know? But the reality is that is curbing people's free speech and their ability to express themselves. And also, a lot of things are political these days. So if you say that someone can't talk about anything political,
Yeah.
that is significantly decreasing their ability to express themselves. And it's different to say that a person can express themselves than an institution, for example.
How would the reaction have been if it had been a rainbow flag instead of a American flag, and it said, "Live like Harvey Milk" or something like that, right? The school would have. I have a high degree of confidence the school would have behaved differently, because it wasn't just the hey. I mean, you could make an argument. Oh, we can't say anything that's even kind of political because that is going to be a problem. But the part about sending an email to everybody in the school referring to it as vandalism, saying she broke the code of conduct, even though she got permission in advance to do so, and then tell the whole world that you have called law enforcement and opened a criminal investigation into the rock. This is, to me, somebody at that school really wanted to, like, in a personal way, separate themselves, saying somebody said something kind of complimentary about Charlie Kirk. They referred to him as an example of the way we ought to live. I find that highly objectionable. So I'm going to respond in my official kind of professional adult leadership capacity by making sure everybody in the world knows I don't agree with that. And to me, this whole thing feels like somebody wanted to provide a rebuttal to a feeling that this 16-year-old girl expressed on the rock, and it's just childish.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's definitely possible. Honestly, I don't know enough about the situation to say whether or not they would have responded differently if it was a, a message that is typically identified with the political left.
I don't
right?
know, but I
We'd
know.
have to go.
I'm willing to judge that.
Okay, and that's fine, but we would have to, in order to make that claim definitively, we'd have to go back and see that they allowed some other leftist message, like a pride flag or something like that, be on the rock, and then they
would they open a criminal investigation into a pride flag? No,
I'm not just being argumentative for no reason. The point I'm trying to make, that I'm getting to, is I do think a lot of times people who are in leadership, because everyone is divided right now, we have polar opposite ends of the spectrum, on certain issues. And then we've got these people in the middle who are just like, I just want to live my life. I don't really care that much. But people in leadership right now, I think a lot of times just kind of, a little kerfuffle starts and they're like, and they just want to get out of it. And I think that may be what happened here.
Well, you want to know why I don't think that's all there is to it?
Why?
Because they were awarded $95,000. That's why. I mean, I take your argument. I mean, I actually agree.
We could look into this more and figure out whether they were, they actually were discriminating against this viewpoint versus this one. And maybe everyone listening can, if you care that much, look into it more. But the point is, people should be able to express themselves. And this was way an overblown reaction, an investigation, emailing the whole school, all of that stuff. It's way over the top.
And this is,
way over the top.
And this is the kind of school administration that is also like, defying state law when it comes to facilities and saying, we are going to trans our kids, even if you tell us not to trans our kids, because this mindset exists in local school districts. And again, I respect the desire to give the benefit of the doubt, and I generally try to do that as well. But I think for those who know these facts much better than you and I do, we're just reading summaries of this. The people who were actually involved in the case decided that what they did was worth a $95,000 judgment for the student. And that tells me this is not just, like somebody just trying to make sure that we're neutral on this rock. I think it was more than that. So, speaking of additional childish, Ashley, you actually brought this to my attention on Instagram. So you want to describe it and then we'll play it?
It's almost indescribable. So
should we not describe it then and just play it and let people react and just tell people what we're about to play?
This is a video that was released last week, I think, on social media. It's Sydney Batch and Vernetta Alston, both members of the General Assembly, both Democrats. It is a video that is, I don't know who it's aimed towards, but the topic is Republicans' inability to pass a budget, and it's quite the video. Let's look at it.
And we'll just say that it is an issue that the Republicans have not been able to pass a budget in the last. I mean, we think we are weeks or days away from a budget being passed, but it's been not happening. And the Democrats have, of course, tried to make it a political issue. And this is their attempt to, I guess, appeal to the public on this issue. Go ahead, Eli, and give that a play.
Oh, hi. I'm Representative Vernetta Alston. Friends, times are tough. That's why I wanted to come here today, talk to you directly about the things that matter to you and your families. And because times are tough, Leader Batch wanted to join as well, except she's going to be our anger interpreter.
Instead of doing their jobs, Republicans are acting like a bunch of little because they can't deliver a budget. So we don't have else to do but sit by this fireplace and wait for them to do their job.
Republicans have yet to bring forward a state budget. That matters because without a budget, big projects like roads, school improvements can't happen. These are things that you depend on. It's a problem.
And whatever the saying at press conferences is a lie while they're sitting there standing on their stupid little apple crates.
But Democrats have an agenda to help make the things that you need in your everyday life, your home, your food, your access to health care, easier and less stressful to afford.
There are two teams. Democrats who are trying to make sure that you're not homeless and starving, and these Republicans who don't give a about you.
So, we also have a plan for our schools. Our kids deserve the best education. They should learn for the future of our economy so that they can become proud and prepared citizens of our great state and our country.
Meanwhile, these Republicans are giving $250 million a year to private schools so that rich kids could be taught history without tax dollars. And if we keep on this pace, our kids will be living in our basements.
Okay, let's try this. The great lyricist Kendrick Lamar once said, "If you speak the good into existence, that instant, your dreams will unlock. North Carolina, Democrats not only want to speak the good into existence, we want to make a great existence your reality by winning big this November.
And the great North Carolinian J. Cole once said, "I'ma pour something in my cup. I've been wanting something I could feel. November's coming and we're gonna win."
Cut.
I've seen it before, and I'm still blown away. Ashley, who's that for?
I truly have no idea. I mean, who is going to vote Democrat that previously was not going to because of that video?
I actually want to, because our Eli, do you have a mic? No, he doesn't have a mic. He doesn't have a mic with him because we're watching producer Eli, who's the one who he has not actually seen this before. Ashley and I have both seen this before, and watching you watch this video is actually pretty entertaining to me. And I think we need another perspective on this to figure out what in the world they are hoping to accomplish with this thing. So, Eli, you ready to roll?
Yeah, you hear me?
So, okay, you had this as a first impression because we've had a time to process this. What are your thoughts on that as, relatively normie Gen X guy, casually political? What's your reaction?
I don't really. Is it supposed to be serious? Is it supposed to be like a joke? Whatever. I don't really get the motive. I just look at it and I think it's overwhelmingly ridiculous. It was really funny, but I don't think it was funny for the way they were trying to make it funny. It was just like, really? Like, what? What are we doing?
I can't. I'm shocked that someone is doing this.
Yeah, what are we doing
funny.
here? It's more, like you have a friend sometimes they're never trying to be funny, but just kind of the way they
laugh at
act.
them.
Yeah,
not with them.
yeah. It's almost like you could see they were trying to do this to be entertaining but it's so funny because it missed the mark completely. Whatever their objective was, which I still don't know, they definitely didn't hit it, in my opinion.
Like, how did this get through the editing process?
Yeah.
How did this get? I mean, because I think they had a script, and somebody thought about that.
So it's supposed to be, she's supposed to be an anger interpreter.
Yeah, the anger.
Which is, I didn't know this, but it's a type, there's a sketch on a show called Key and Peele, which I don't know that show.
Oh, this is a?
But this is a type.
I do know Key and Peele.
Okay, so Sydney Batch is supposed to be the anger interpreter. Like, she's what you really want to say, but you're not saying.
I can understand that.
So it was supposed to be evidently like a comedy sketch. Like, Democrats are like, oh, this was satire. But they didn't pull it off. I don't know if they meant to actually bleep out the words and just accidentally didn't, or if they were trying to be funny
we'll have to
by
bleep
not.
that.
Just so people know, because in the version that they are hearing here, it's going to be bleep.
Yes, Eli, we need it to be actually
Yeah.
correctly. All the profanity needs to be bleeped out for Politics for Happy People. But just so everyone knows, the original video that was uploaded online, the bleeps are not in sync with the actual profanity, so you can still hear the profanity. And so that's a little bit like confusing about it. It's like, was this amateur hour, or did you actually want to cuss out Republicans online? And they actually are, these two members are getting disciplined, at least in the House.
By the Republicans, right?
Yes. Well, House Majority Leader Brendan Jones called on Democrats in the House to discipline Alston and others involved with the video. So they're trying to, I'm sure it's all, what can they actually do? What can they do? I don't know.
Not much, but it is. I continue to be blown away that these are like adults. These are presumably serious people, and honestly, before I saw this
is so unserious.
But Sydney Batch, I actually kind of like. I've seen her have political discussions. She's a litigator. She's like
Delivers-
she's a genuinely smart person
She
who has a
is.
really serious job outside of the legislature. And I kind of respected her as like an advocate, and just kind of, until I saw this, and I was like, you are either just the world's worst comedian, or you just have really, really bad judgment.
I think it's both, honestly. I mean, I agree. I've seen her deliver, speeches on the floor. And while I don't agree with her, I was like, oh, she's doing a good job making her argument. And frankly, she seemed like a dignified person.
Correct.
In other contexts.
Correct.
Where I've seen her. But this is
really undignified.
Not dignified. I think I don't understand why people think that doing things like this is going to make them more compelling. It doesn't make sense in my brain why a person would do this. You've kind of denigrated yourself, and it's such an unnecessary way. Maybe this does appeal to people. I think it's funny because it's so ridiculous, and I don't find it appealing. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe we should ask Eli. Do Gen Z people, do younger people, do they think this is going to appeal to the younger crowd or something?
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
I think the objective was maybe to be relatable.
Okay.
And oh, hey, we talk the same way you do. But when I see that, I'm like, wow, that is so, in a politician. So it's it's one thing if it's a comedian, but you're in politics. It's just for me, and I think I can speak for most of my generation, that is so highly unattractive, and it's they're trying to relate so hard, but it's just not working.
I think my Gen Z children would refer to that as a try hard.
Yes, cringe.
That's so funny. That's so
Absolutely.
funny.
That's the term that comes to mind. You are trying too hard, and it's not working.
Yeah. Well, for me, I want people in charge to be sober minded. It gives me a lot of anxiety thinking that the people who are making decisions, who are making laws, are so silly. That gives me a lot of anxiety.
Another thing about that, the whole anger. What was this? Anger interpreter, right?
Yes.
I want to believe that the adults making decisions, in making difficult, significant decisions, aren't actually suppressing the thought that she expressed. If your honest internal dialogue is profanity and hate and bigotry about the people you're dealing with, I don't want you involved. Now, it's okay to have differences of opinion, but I want to believe that you are emotionally mature enough to see the issue separate from the people, and you can respect the people that you're dealing with. But one of the things that says to me is that actually what's going on internally is just absolute bigotry. And if you're spending all your time suppressing how much you loathe the people you disagree with in a personal way, I'm way more out on you than I was just because I disagreed with you.
100%. It's they their own joke went over their head, I
Okay.
totally agree. Yeah, if people actually think that way, it's okay to have a difference of opinion, but that's just absolutely ridiculous.
Okay. Well, we've picked on them, but I want to, refer to something else that's happened, in this whole profanity in public policy, because President Trump famously sent out a tweet on Easter Sunday with the F word in it directed at Iran, right? And he's a guy who's used plenty of profanity in public discourse as well. And I think I want to zoom out from this particular embarrassing video and just acknowledge that I think profanity has become more common in our political public discourse in ways that are really unhelpful. It's not respectful. It's not professional. It's not mature. But I guess people think it's relatable and authentic, and that's what they're going for.
Well, I do think that's the appeal, the authenticity piece. I think there's a craving for that in society, authenticity. We've got AI that just can create things that aren't authentically human. We've had many years of, I think, really extreme media spin, right? where to the point where people feel like they're being lied to by the media, and they are. And I think that one of the currencies of our day is feeling that someone is being honest with you, feeling like you're being told the truth by them, feeling that authenticity. And I think that's part of the appeal of Trump. Love him or hate him, he is who he is. He's not trying to hide it, all of that. And I was thinking about this as we were talking about this, because Trump does it too. You know, he speaks in a way sometimes that is, to me, not, I mean, it's beneath the office of president. You should be more dignified if you have that office. And yet there is a certain appeal to it, right? Because people feel like
it's real.
It's real. Exactly. But I do think we should expect and demand more from our leaders. It's good to be relatable. It's good to be real. It's not good to be undignified. It's not good to be hateful and just, frankly, unserious.
Well,
this is unserious.
I
This
want
is
to
not-
believe.
I mean, I don't know how you go from making that video to having some kind of a serious policy debate. Like, I don't.
Agreed.
And I want that from my elected officials. I want adults in the room.
Yeah. I want you to be authentic, but I want to also believe that authentic you is an adult. And that is the line that can get crossed. And Trump has crossed that line for me many times. And that's what Batch and Alston did in that video. So, yeah, authenticity is good. I don't want to believe that somebody's always insincere and always performative, and I don't know who you actually are. But when I find out who you actually are, I want to like it. And and maybe that's just the deeper issue here culturally is we're encouraging authenticity, but we're like, oh, we're getting authenticity and it's terrible. And, maybe that's just the spiritual condition of
We've definitely
our
gone
culture.
away from like yearning towards virtue. We're in a
Have
place
we,
where the cultural ethos is very like, you be you, whoever you are is okay.
Well,
Improvement and striving towards ideals is really not a part of our culture right now.
I
And
don't
that's
think
my
it's
opinion.
totally gone. Here's maybe where to connect Trump and then this video that we just saw. I think the appeal for the base, and in both cases, I think there's an appeal to the base, is we want somebody who wants to fight the same people we fight. We want you to match my
rage.
What is it? It's match my rage, but yeah, it's match my vibe or whatever that term is, right? It's like, I want you to share my energy. Eli, what term am I missing? There is a Gen Z term that I'm destroying right now.
No, I think you're right. That match my vibe.
It's match my vibe,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
like and honestly, this is the appeal of Trump for a lot of people. Is he was angry? He was just as angry at the exact same people as a lot of middle of America who felt kind of abandoned by, and I think that's what Alston and Batch were trying to reach. Though I'm not sure that as many people actually had that much emotion about the lack of a state budget. I mean, people look at the lack of the state budget and they're like, okay, maybe you get a budget passed. But I don't think like that visceral, rage is
Unless
actually...
all the accountants are probably mad.
No, not even, and especially not accountants, right? Because accountants are not capable of rage by virtue of being accountants. They're disqualified. But yeah, that's where I don't think it works. But I think there is an attempt, if there is any appeal to the base, and I'm sure there's a handful of Democrats who watch that video, and I know that there's people who see Trump stuff and they're like, yeah, it's because I want you to be mad at the same people that I'm really angry at and that I blame for all of my problems. I don't think that necessarily means that we no longer care about goodness and we don't have an idea of, I sure would like just safety for my children and a great education and some prosperity.
I didn't
and
say we
safe
don't care
neighborhoods.
about
Yeah.
goodness.
Well,
I
I know,
do think,
I
though,
know.
there's no emphasis. We've lost an emphasis on striving for virtue and civility. And as you said, it's more about match my vibe, be as angry as I am. I want someone who's going to go out there and fight for me and fight for this and fight the people that I don't like. And honestly, I would like to do a focus group with some Gen Z Democrats and see, do you like this video? Did this get you riled up and excited? I have no idea, but I can tell you one thing. Those people are all going to vote for these two anyways in the first place. So I just think they just did something embarrassing and they're not going to get much out of it. But anyways.
Last story for today.
Yeah.
I don't know what the segue is, if it's connected at all. But a CNN poll on the 4th of July. We're heading into it here shortly. Most Democrats do not intend to fly the flag for the 4th of July. And here's the survey data. 27% of Democrats will fly the American flag, compared to 64% of Republicans. Only 29% of Democrats are extremely proud to be American, compared to 90% of Republicans. Ashley, what's going on?
I don't know what's going on.
Does this surprise? First, does it surprise you?
Yeah, honestly, these numbers are more dismal, frankly, than I would expect. 25% will fly the flag, and only 29% are extremely proud to be American. I mean, I love this country. Our family, we bought a flag for America 250. I've been meaning to do it. I hadn't done it. I love it. It makes me happy every time I pull into my house and I see the flag. I love this country. I mean, I couldn't feel any more different. I mean, sure, there are things we need to work on and improvements to be made, but I love living here. I'm so grateful every day that I was born in this country, so happy to raise my children here, and these numbers make me very sad.
Well, they don't just make you very sad, Ashley. They make them very sad. And I think there's a connection there. And, here on Politics for Happy People, let's talk about happiness for a moment. And I think there's actually a connection here I think these numbers are explained significantly by the fact that progressivism is inherently ungrateful. That it requires, because it's utopian, because it's secularism, right? Leftism comes out of a secular assumption that this is all we have. The reason why we can be happy despite all of the chaos in the world is because our hope is not ultimately in what's going to happen in Raleigh next week. We have a much longer view of our lives and our value and our experience in the creation, right? But if this is all you have, it's not going very well. Most of the time, the world is just filled with challenges. And because secularists don't have anything in the future to place their hope in, all they can hope for is the fact that we are going to get control and create utopia now. And that's the best that we can hope for, and it's not going very well. And so their joy gets drained by the imperfection. They cannot focus on the good things despite the bad things, because no justice, no peace, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. We can't rest. We can't be happy until we've solved all the problems. And our doctrine of sin ensures us that's never going to happen. They believe the world is perfectible. And until it's perfect, we can't be grateful. We can't rest. So we can't look at America as the greatest political experiment in human history, the thing that has done more than any other political experiment ever to lift people out of poverty and propagate human freedom. That is the reality. That's why we're happy about it. They just see all the things that are imperfect. We see the same things, but we have the freedom to be grateful for the things that are good and not obsess all the time about the things that are still needing to be improved. And the reason we have that freedom is because we have what I would describe as realistic expectations, because the doctrine of sin ensures us that we're never going to get rid of all the problems. So how do we be happy despite the problems? They're like, we're not going to be happy until there are no problems. And I think that is a defining characteristic of leftism. And to me, that explains why they're like, do we love America? Are we very proud to be America? No, because there's still poor people, there's still crime, there's still racism, there's still problems. So how could we be grateful for America? We have an answer to that. They don't. So they're not grateful for America. And also, by the way, they're just really unhappy.
Yeah, there's some research data actually that says that conservatives are happier.
Yes.
So,
and that's why this is politics for happy people. I mean, it's
it's
coded.
kind of part of the reason.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about
That's
that.
right. No, that's exactly right. It's exactly right. How do you keep your joy?
It is a thankfulness issue. There's so much to be thankful for. Yes, we want to improve. Yes, we want policies that make sense and that are just. And we're working towards that, but we have so much to be thankful for here. And I just would think, I mean, I think this position is to not be proud to be American. I mean, another poll said that the majority of Democrats would rather live in another country. I mean, to not love this country, you would think a simple, just comparative analysis would wake them up.
Cuba will take them.
I mean, really, look around the globe at the levels of poverty in other nations. Look back through history at the conditions under which people lived, and it's very, in my mind, so illogical for these people to be so down on our nation. But in our family, in our household, we are very excited about America 250. We will be celebrating July 4th, and we love this country. I have so much to be thankful for.
That's right. So fly the flag. Be grateful. Not because it can't be better, but because it can be much, much, much worse. And for basically everybody in all of human history, it has been much, much worse. So should you be grateful to be American? Absolutely. You have won the lottery. Know it. Be grateful for it. Continue to work to make it better. Happy 250th.
That's
America.
right. That's
America.
right.
Thanks for joining us today on Politics for Happy People. Thrilled to have you on the journey with us. New episodes every Tuesday and Friday. So look for the next one. We look forward to being with you then.